Welcome back. It's Thursday, February 16th. I'm joined by my co-host, Bakari Steve, and we're back with a very exciting episode. How you doing? How you feeling?
I'm doing good. Woke up today. I'm excited for everybody to see what we have in store for this show.
But as we know, with football season behind us now, we're going to shift our focus strictly to basketball for the next couple of weeks until free agency. And what better way to start that than with a draft? We have some quick news to cover first, some free agents, some buyouts, but then we'll get into the much anticipated draft later in the episode. This is your early reminder to drop a like on the podcast. You guys have been killing it. We've been growing as a channel as of late, and we appreciate all the support that we do get. So kill it down below and hit that big subscribe button if you haven't already. But without further ado, welcome to the Anomaly Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Owen Stiftar, and let's dive into some of this news. The first things first, Russell Westbrook, the Jazz, they're allowing him to explore his options, talk to other teams, and maybe contemplate if he wants to actually play for the Jazz. What are your immediate thoughts? What do you want to see him do in the future?
I've been a Russ fan for as long as I can remember, as long as I started liking the game, and I believe the teams they said were interested in him were the Clippers, yes, Miami Heat, Washington Wizards, and Chicago Bulls. As a Russ fan, I would like to see him go to a place where he could probably compete at the highest level with a chance to win a ring, which is the Clippers, of course. But the more and more I thought about it, I guess if I had to pick a kind of a secondary option, I'd actually want to see him go to Chicago, only because Billy Donovan is that coach. Billy Donovan is really what transformed Russ's style into a really athletic point guard, into a triple-double machine.
Yes.
He has his own faults, but I really think that he could also help out in Chicago and help them with a late play-in push and potentially make the playoffs as well.
Yeah, a team like the Jazz, where he could stay, they would welcome him, is what they're saying, if he were to play for the Jazz. But they just can't promise him any minutes because they do want to prioritize some of their younger talent. But for Russ, a team like Utah, if he were to start, or a team like Chicago, I think it would be a good spot for him because it's like a bet on yourself, where he could prove himself, maybe go out there and get a decent deal this offseason, right, for multi years. But honestly, a team like the Clippers might make the most sense if he wants to compete at the highest level. But I wouldn't be mad at I wouldn't be mad at Chicago. I think the spacing will be a little bit weird with DeMar and Russ, but I guess they're not going to complain. Chicago's in a desperate state where they just need talent. But Russ, all-time great point guard, I hope he makes the best choice.
Yeah, just don't go to Washington, Russ.
Right. Next up, Kevin Love. The Cavaliers recently bought out Kevin Love after last night's game against the Sixers, which we fell short. But Kevin Love is going to be seeking to join a contender, we're sure, for the long haul, for this playoff run, as he probably only has 3 to 4 years left in this league. And I can't blame him if he wants to ring chase at this point in his career.
Yeah, actually, when you say 3 to 4, I'll narrow it down to 2 or 3. Just watching him play this season, I should say first, as a longtime Cavs fan, lifelong Cavs fan, Kevin Love, he's been here a lot longer than I think anybody expected. He's the last one standing from our championship run. Last year he was a really valuable asset off the bench just because of his experience, kind of helping a young team grow. And he was runner-up in Sixth Man of the Year. This year, I think a lot of people expected him to improve on what he did last year, or, have the same type of role. But it's just from the beginning of the season, he just hasn't. I think he had one good game like first week of the season, and after that, he was just pretty hard to watch. Kevin Love is the type of player at this point in his career, if he's not hitting the three, if he's not stretching the floor, you can't play him because he can't play defense. I believe that the Miami Heat are the front runners to get him right now. I wouldn't be surprised if he somehow, finagles his way to LA. I think the Heat like the potential when it comes to Kevin Love, a stretch four, but he's been really inconsistent this season, which is why the Cavs decided to buy him out.
Right, and especially in the age of positionless basketball where 1 through 5 can switch on most competitive teams, Kevin Love can't defend anybody, right? Not even centers, right? So it's going to be hard to find him a starting position at any place in the league, aside from probably Houston. But I do hope he goes and wins. He's lost a lot in his career with Minnesota for all those years where he probably only made the playoffs once, or if he, I don't even know if he did make the playoffs. But he lost a lot in Minnesota, came to the Cavs, we won, but then after LeBron and Kyrie left, we started to lose a decent amount before we rebuilt this team. I hope he goes to a team where he can compete.
Yeah.
The Lakers will probably get him. I don't know, just saying with his connection with LeBron, but I can't see him playing with the Lakers. I kind of hope the Lakers don't get him.
Yeah, I can't see him playing with the Heat either, just because, like I said, the Heat are kind of they're basically like the Cavs, a grit and grind type of team, rely on their defense, and their offense, they believe, will come at some point in the game, and Kevin Love is just the opposite of that type of play style, so we'll have to see.
I wouldn't, I guess, take the possibility out of maybe like a Denver to play like a backup five. At this point, I think Kevin Love is, playoff time he can't play.
Yeah.
With the switching, so I can see him going to maybe like a Denver or Milwaukee just for the regular season, and maybe he can prove his worth for next year. But the last player that we have to cover is Reggie Jackson. He is set to join the Denver Nuggets on a one-year deal. He actually grew up in Colorado Springs, and from the reports that we have, he's going to be wearing number 7 from an idol of his, Chauncey Billups. So Reggie Jackson joining the Nuggets, giving them some point guard depth. What do you think about it?
Yeah, when the Nuggets decided to trade Bones or Nashawn Highland to the Clippers, it ended up pretty much just being a swap for Bones for Reggie Jackson.
Yeah.
Reggie Jackson, he's still a good quality point guard. I think the Clippers were looking for a little bit more shooting at that point guard position, which Reggie Jackson, he's an erratic shooter. He shoots one game. He won't shoot good for 2 months. But he's still, like I said, he's still a really good playmaker. His defense is, it's definitely better for most people who are older like him.
Yeah.
I like this move for the Nuggets. He's also a good leader and locker room guy. I believe the reason why they traded Bones in the first place is because he just wasn't really meshing with people like Jamal Murray.
Right.
So this will be a good move for them, kind of clear out a space in that locker room, bring in a really good team guy, really good playoff performer as well.
Yeah.
I like this move a lot.
Yeah, even though Jamal Murray is not necessarily a young player, Reggie Jackson's been around for 11 years, I believe. So, his veteran presence, even for the young forwards and wings that the Nuggets do have that probably don't play, he can help them and help develop them for the rest of the year. And, we always hear how important those vets are. We always hear stories about how players like Rajon Rondo, who were in places where he wasn't a starter, he still had a big impact on the team. So, Reggie Jackson, I like the move. He's going to play in the playoffs. And this Nuggets team gets even deeper.
Yeah.
But moving on, NBA All-Star Weekend is finally here. It's upon us. It's arguably the best All-Star Weekend and game among all sports, with especially the NFL going to a flag football format now. And I think overall, all the major sports, it's the best All-Star Weekend. But on Friday, which I believe is the 17th? Yeah, the 17th, we have the Ruffles Celebrity All-Star Game. The game that Kevin Hart's won 3 MVPs in. But then at 9 o'clock, we also have the Rising Stars game that's sponsored by Jordan. I think 8 of the last top 10 picks are going to be in this game. So it's good. It's young talent. If you want to watch it, it's there. Moving over to Saturday, it's probably the most exciting night, especially for non-basketball fans, at least not basketball followers. But you have a bunch of events. The first event, we have the Skills Challenge, where the passing, the dribbling, the scoring, the shooting, that's always fun to watch. And then we move over to the three-point contest, sponsored by Starry, which, have you had Starry yet? I've asked a bunch of people. Apparently it's like a Sprite knockoff, but...
Oh, yeah, I've heard of it. I see it at the store, but I've never had it, actually.
Yeah, I'm surprised that's got that much money. But the three-point contest consists of Tyrese Halliburton, Tyler Hero, Buddy Hield, Kevin Huerter, Damian Lillard, the hometown guy, I guess, and Lauri Markkanen, Anthony Simons, and Jason Tatum. Who is your, favorite here? Mm-hmm. And then who's your, dark horse?
It's kind of weird. You look at this list and you see a lot of off-ball shooting three-point players. You don't really see a lot of, maybe Kevin Huerter, Buddy Hield, and maybe Tyler Hero. But a lot of these guys shoot off the dribble. I think my winner picking, I'd go with Buddy Hield, I think. I think Buddy Hield would probably be...
He killed it that one year where he beat Steph and Clay.
Yeah, maybe Damian Lillard, but I don't even know. I think they said Anthony Simons. He sprained his ankle the other night. I don't even think they're going to have to find a replacement for him. So, yeah, I'd say Buddy Hield.
Yeah, I looked it up this morning. They still had Anthony listed, but I'm sure if they don't find a replacement, they'll just... Yeah. I mean, actually, it's All-Star Weekend. They'll throw one of the guys that are in the game in the three-point shootout. But it'd be pretty cool to see Lowry win just because he's, I guess, kind of the dark horse here, and he's a big. But it's kind of hard to go against Dame or Buddy Hield in a situation like this.
Yeah.
But the final event on Saturday, we have the Slam Dunk Contest, which has gotten a lot of heat in the last couple weeks. But it consists of Kenyon Martin, Trey Murphy, Jericho Sims, and Mac McClung. Do you have a pick here?
I actually do think Jericho Sims is going to win. He's 6'11", but he might be the bountiest big man I've ever seen. I've seen some highlights, and he gets up like his head is above the rim every time he jumps, even if it's for a rebound, a block. Like this guy is really bouncy, and if he can have some creativity with that bounce, he should be able to win easily. Because Kenyon Martin Jr. He doesn't even really dunk from what I know. Maybe a few posters every now. Trey Murphy is definitely more of a shooter than a dunker. Yeah. And Mac McClung isn't even in the NBA. He's in the G League, but he's a really good dunker as well. So this is definitely probably on paper one of the worst dunk contests.
I was going to ask you about that.
But
yeah, I was going to say one thing about Jericho Sims is he's not like the typical 6'11", 7-footers that we see like Dwight Howard, Blake Griffin, and like DeAndre Jordan was in it one year where they don't necessarily dunk it, but they throw the ball in.
Yeah.
Jericho Sims is a dunker. He's gonna give you those traditional dunks. But I'll probably go Mac McClung just to be different from you. We know he has the bounce. We know what he can do. But what are your thoughts? Like, do you think that, we should possibly go away from things like the dunk contest if we don't have the stars in the NBA wanting to compete in them? Because back then, we used to have the All-Star events and all that used to only consist of the All-Stars in the game.
Yeah. I wouldn't be opposed to seeing the dunk contest go away. I know it kind of sounds weird because, usually a lot of times you stay up to watch the dunk contest, but it's really just been a letdown since I believe the 2020 dunk contest.
Yeah,
it's been a huge letdown, actually. Like you might see 3 completed dunks, and those dunks are dunks you see in the game.
Yeah.
If they want to keep it in, maybe move it to the first event so we can get it out the way. Because at this point, even a skills challenge is a little bit more entertaining than.
Yeah, a couple bigs have won the skills challenge lately.
Yeah, maybe even switch out the dunk contest for the Rising Stars or the Celebrity Game and have that, or the Rising Stars, because the Rising Stars is more of a park format now. So I can see you squeezing that in, but probably just go away with it as a whole.
Yeah, we haven't really had a great dunk contest in a couple years. It seems like every 5 years we'll get one good dunk contest. And it's gotten to the point where unless somebody does a cartwheel into a backflip and dunks the ball, we've really seen everything when it comes to the dunk. So, it's really just, I guess, maybe can we see Jericho Sims pull off some dunks that Zach LaVine did back in the day? But I don't know. We've seen pretty much everything we could to this point. So it does get a little redundant. But then to close off the weekend, we do have Sunday, the biggest night of the weekend. We have the All-Star Game draft, where this year they're going to draft the two captains, LeBron and Giannis. They're going to draft their All-Star teams not on TV, but they're going to draft it in like a playground style, where everyone stands in front of them and they pick them that way. So that'll be interesting. That starts at 7:30. And then following that, we're going to have the All-Star Game at around 8:30 Eastern times for all of these events that we've listed. But with that being said, there we go. For the main portion of today's show, Bakari and I, we're going to play GM in a way. And we're going to draft these NBA All-Star teams. Here are the rules, right? So follow along. We both start with one of the two captains, either LeBron James or Giannis Antetokounmpo. Where it gets interesting is I'm going to give you the choice, my co-host, if he wants to either choose his captain first, which would give me the other captain, and I would then have the first pick from the remaining starters. Or, if he didn't care what captain he got, he would then get the first pick from the remaining starters, and whoever gets the first pick from whoever chooses the captain will get the second pick for the starters and on the bench. Hopefully that makes sense. I kind of was everywhere there. Did that make sense?
Yeah, no,
okay.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. But basically, we're going to go back and forth until all players are gone. Starters first, move over to the reserves, and repeat the process. But with that being said, you see it. Do you want LeBron or Giannis, or do you want the first pick from the starters and the reserves?
You know what? I think I'm actually going to take Giannis right here. He plays 150% during the All-Star games, and that is something we're going to need.
As you see it now, then, you have Team Owen on the left side, Team Bakari on the right. Pretty simple, different color coordinated. Starters in the middle. He has Giannis, I have LeBron. We both have to choose 2 guards and 2 forwards. The reserves, there is no restrictions. So if you want to go on the reserves and you want to draft 8 bigs, and so be it. But here we go for the starters. This was a tough decision, and I thought about this. I thought about maybe going big, right? But I also figured Embiid and Jokic, there's not too much of a difference if I wanted to go that route. Then I thought of Jason Tatum. He's arguably the MVP frontrunner this year. But I got to go Luka Doncic. I got to go Luka Magic to start my team. We're going to have 2 elite playmakers, 2 guys that are going to make the All-Star game fun for the fans.
And, I'm looking at these guards in the front court. And for me, I want guys that are going to play hard, but I also want some showstoppers. And when I say showstoppers, I mean they could mean, razzle dazzle with the dribbling, some high flying dunks. The tricky thing about the All-Star game is that it makes sense to take the best players available, but sometimes you just need. Sometimes those players don't even try at all.
Like LeBron.
Yeah, I remember Carmelo Anthony a few years, or what was that, like almost 8 years ago. He shot like 1 of 13 or something bad, and
it's crazy that was the one player you pulled out. If you guys didn't know that, Carmelo Anthony is my favorite player of all time, but yes, that was a terrible All-Star game.
You know what? I'm going to take my point guard here, and I'm going to actually go Ja Morant.
Ja Morant. I wasn't expecting that, to be completely honest with you. I was actually expecting Tatum to go here, and that's the route I'm going to go. I'm going to take Jason Tatum. I'm going to pair Tatum, Luka, and LeBron. Now that I think about this might be a little OP. I might give you the first pick off the bench. But I'm taking Tatum. MVP frontrunner. Boston's arguably, they are the second best team in the league record-wise, and no doubt best team in the East.
And then for my second pick, I already have one of my forwards in Giannis, so I am going to go Joel Embiid.
Joel Embiid.
He always has those underrated 18 and 10 point games in the All-Star games, 20 and 10 games in the All-Star games. So I think he'll be a nice addition to the Hustlers. The Hustlers is what I'm calling us.
There you go. Well, then I'm going to be the Ballers. No, just I'm stuck here because I got Nikola Jokic. I'm looking at him, right? Arguably going to win his 3rd straight MVP. But I'm going to take my chances that you don't have Giannis, Embiid, and Jokic in your starting lineup. Give me Kyrie Irving. I'm going to pair up the Dallas backcourt. Kyrie and LeBron have a connection. Kyrie and Tatum have a connection. Give me Kyrie. And, you don't have to take Mitchell here, so I guess I kind of screwed myself.
Yeah, actually, that helps me because I'm actually going to go I actually will go Jokic here.
Man.
That was not the route I was going to go before that pick, I'll tell you that. But it kind of helps me out a little bit. So.
Well, then that leaves me with taking the hometown kid and Lauri Markkanen to fill out my other forward spot. And that leaves you with Donovan Mitchell, our hometown kid.
Yeah, I was going to take D-Mitch instead of Jokic, but I was not expecting the Kyrie to go at that point in time. So, I'd like my lineup of Ja, D-Mitch, Giannis, Embiid, and Jokic. We're going to hustle. We're going to play some really good basketball.
You guys are big. I came into this draft and I said, I'm going to draft one of the bigs. I said, I'm going to draft Jokic or Embiid with my second pick after Luka. And I didn't expect you to take 2 bigs. So now my lineup is Kyrie Irving, Luka Doncic, LeBron James, Jason Tatum, and Lauri Markkanen. It is what it is. LeBron's probably playing our 5. But I guess we're going to take our chances that the All-Star game's kind of threes and dunks and not back it down in the post. But we're definitely outsized. I mean, we're going to have Tatum on Embiid. So we'll have to see how that goes. And Laurie on Jokic. But, moving over to the bench. I guess I'm going to start here then. Mm-hmm. This came down to, there's one big that I really, really want on my All-Star team. And then I look over, there's a wing that it's going to be his first All-Star game. I really want him on my All-Star team just because he's going to be fun. And you already got Ja. And then you look at the guards. That's where you got some superstar power in Damian Lillard. But give me the first-time All-Star. Give me Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to start my bench. Right? And to remind you guys that are listening, there are no restrictions for the benches, right? So if you want to draft 7 guards, you can. If you want to draft 7 bigs, you can. But I'm going to start with Shai here.
Okay, and since you're going to take Shai, I am going to continue my tradition of taking guys who play hard in an All-Star game. It's been a while, but we're going to take Damian Lillard here.
All right,
he gives us that 3 ball. Hey, Dame was in a dunk contest at one point in time. He can dunk it too, but those 28-foot and beyond threes are really what we're looking for. We're trying to really capture the crowd's attention. So
yeah, it sucks that Curry's not in the game.
Yeah.
But we're gonna get those deep threes from Dame, and I really just Dame is the better player than Shai. I just kind of Shai's gonna be in his first game. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, maybe he goes crazy, but that leaves me here. I'm looking at Paul George. I'm looking at Anthony Edwards. Even Jaren Jackson here is a tempting pick. But, man, I can't mess around. I need size on this team. We don't have any in the starting lineup. It sucks because this dude is probably the worst big here, or one of the worst bigs here. So I'm actually not going to go that route. I'm holding up here. I'm stalling. And I'm going to leave you PG because I know you want him. So give me Bam Adebayo. Give me Bam Adebayo. Give me Bam just because I need some size. I need some rim protection. Maybe a Laurie slips and falls on the way to the game, and we need someone to step in that starting lineup. It's going to give us some actual versatility. We need a rim protecting big. So it's definitely early, right? But I'm going to take Bam Adebayo there.
Yeah, I mean, you could have went Pascal and kind of got the same production with the taller player, but yeah, Bam's a solid pick.
I like the rim protection.
Yeah,
I don't need Tornado P.
I'm actually going to take. I'm not going to mess around this round. I'm going to take PG, the veteran All-Star player. A few years back, he broke the record just to have it re-broke the next year. I think one of the years the year Anthony Davis broke the record, PG also had 50 that game or something crazy. So PG is definitely going to play hard. He wasn't in it last year. I don't even know if he was in it the year before. But PG is another veteran All-Star who will play his tail off, and that's what we need for this win.
Man, I gotta reevaluate some things here. This bench, I thought I was gonna kill it. I'm rethinking some things now, but I'm gonna go again. The fourth quarter, when things slow down, we're gonna need that guy that can 3-and-D. We're gonna need that guy that can stick, that can stick Donovan Mitchell and John Morant. Give me Jaylen Brown. I believe second-time All-Star, maybe, maybe first time, but I'm gonna go Jaylen Brown. Give me my backcourt bench to give me more versatility.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to go with a surprising pick here. I'm going to take a first-time All-Star reserve. He just made it in because somebody else got hurt. I'm actually going to take Anthony Edwards here. He's a high flyer, a showstopper. And he's one of those, there's like kind of this thing. First-time All-Stars always go hard their first time.
And that's what I thought, Shai.
And, that's why I'm going to bring Ant. Ant has all the tools to really do some crazy things in an All-Star game. He might do a in-game East Bay between the legs dunk. You never know. So I'm going to take Anthony Edwards right there.
I'm looking here, and, again, I think I might go with another first-time All-Star. There's a couple bigs there that are around the same tier of player, and a lot of them are not first-time All-Stars. So I'm going to go over to get another guard here. Maybe we can run Jaylen Brown at the 3. He's still going to bring that defense for us. Give me Tyrese Halliburton. So how is that going to work with Shea and Tyrese? It's an all-star game. This is where you experiment. They're both going to throw lobs. They're both going to ISO. And they're both going to set their guys up to a bunch of all-star highlights.
And for me, I'm really looking at De'Aaron Fox here. I like De'Aaron Fox's game. I'm glad he got in this year. But you know what? I think I'm actually going to take another first-time all-star. But he's leading the DPOY race right now. Surprising pick again. We're going to take Jaren Jackson Jr. I've always been a fan of Jaren Jackson Jr. and his push shot, his really nasty jump shot that he has. But listen, he's another first-time All-Star. I have his teammate in John Morant. Maybe we can get him out there. They're going to play 110%.
Yeah, they are.
So, I'm liking the selection of Jaren Jackson Jr.
They might go punch somebody. Next pick here. I'm fine if you want to take either of those guards. I think I'm going to be okay with the whoever you don't take, right? So I'm going to go over to the front court, and I'm going to get some size. Give me Pascal Siakam. He's playing at an All-NBA level. Now, will he be an All-NBA player? No, because his team sucks. But give me Pascal Siakam to pair with Bam. So now we got a Tyrese Halliburton, Shai Gilgeous, Jaylen Brown, Bam, and Pascal to come off the bench.
And I'm actually going to take DeMar DeRozan here.
I figured.
DeMar, he's another player. He always has a solid, 12 to 14 points in an All-Star game, but he's going to play hard. He would, instead of 12 to 14, he would have 18 to 21, maybe even 24 if he shot threes, but he doesn't, and that's okay. I feel like we have a team around him. And he's not going to be my star player by any means. Might only get 5 minutes a game, but I'm going to take DeMar here.
I'm going to take another first-time All-Star. A guy that doesn't necessarily need to play in the second half. He doesn't need to play in the fourth quarter when we need to hit that set mark of points. Not a defender, but he's gonna get you some highlight plays and play when our other guards need some rest. Give me De'Aaron Fox to kind of round out my bench here, as we only have a couple selections left.
Yeah, and for me, the reason I actually didn't pick Fox was because I feel like PG and DeMar DeRozan, they're those type of players where PG has the ball in his hands, most of the game. DeMar, same thing. They're not the traditional front court players. They are more, wing players who, PG is a point guard in a 6'10" body. So with that being said, you know what? I think I'm going to, ooh, man. These last three, it's
I'm telling you,
not the most desirable players ever, but
right.
You know what? I'm gonna take the big bully, Julius Randle.
All right, I was hoping you did that. Because I'm gonna give you some defense here, but you got a dynamic duo in John Morant and Jaren Jackson. I'm gonna get a dynamic duo, not on the same level. I guess maybe. This guy I'm about to take is better than yours, but give me Domantas Sabonis to round off my bench as my last pick, and that's going to leave you with a Defensive Player of the Year candidate.
Yeah, I'm glad you just gifted me Jrue Holiday, because I did need just an extra guard behind. Maybe I shouldn't have taken Ant that early, but I
think you and me both, we didn't know how we were going to draft here, because I took Bam super early, and this is why you guys got to come prep to the show. You gotta think about your draft strategy early. Again, if I took Jokic or Embiid in the first or for the starters, I wouldn't have taken Bam. My bigs would have been, I would have drafted 2 bigs, and maybe a wing. But
I drafted 4 front court players, and I also had 2 bigs in my starting lineup. So
yeah, really. You're definitely big. I guess we're just gonna have to beat you guys by shooting a bunch. But go ahead and let's read through our starters again, and then we'll read through our benches. But just read through your starters first.
All right. So I have starting at my point guard, John Morant. My 2 guard is Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell. My 3 is Giannis.
Man.
My 4 is going to be Embiid, and my 5 is going to be Nikola Jokic.
You argue that is like the biggest lineup, but you have 2 undersized guards that are bouncy though. But then you got all the size in the front court. My guards, on the other hand, we're going to get the third best player in the league. We're going to get Luka Doncic to run my point. He's going to be paired with Kyrie Irving in the backcourt. They have some chemistry there with Dallas. And then we're going to have, the best player of all time run our 3. We're going to have LeBron James at our 3. We're going to have Tatum at our 4. He's a little bit younger. He can bang around with the bigs, I guess. And then we're going to have the hometown kid and Lauri Markkanen to space the floor and take Jokic out the game. And we just got to worry about Embiid. But to start the bench, my bench goes as follows. For my backup, I'll put a lineup together. For my lineup, we're going to have Shai and Tyrese in the backcourt. Shai Gilgeous and Tyrese Halliburton. We're going to have Jaylen Brown run my 3. And then we're going to have Pascal Siakam and Bam Adebayo round out my front court. So we're going to have, Shai and Tyrese, 2 first-time All-Stars. They're going to go out there, throw some lobs, make some fancy plays. Jaylen Brown, he's that 3-and-D guy we can plug in whenever, in whatever lineup. And then Bam and Pascal bring us some versatility in the front court if we need to. Maybe Bakari's team comes out and they're just feeding the bigs early in the game. We can throw Bam or Pascal out there to minimize what their bigs are doing. I don't think we're going to be able to stop Giannis unless LeBron channels his inner Miami Heat. But that's it. And then my wild cards is going to be the number 3 seed in the West, the Sacramento Kings duo, De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis.
For me, my first lineup off the bench is actually going to be Damian Lillard at my point guard, Anthony Edwards at my shooting guard, and this is whenever it gets weird right here. I have Paul George playing my 3, I have DeMar DeRozan playing my 4, and then I have Jaren Jackson Jr. playing my 5. And then that leaves room for Julius Randle and Drew Holiday to kind of, find some playing time amongst that. But that lineup that I just said, I think it gives us enough. We're not too big, but we're not too small.
I think that's fitted for an all-star game, though.
Yeah.
You're going to have funky lineups.
Yeah, we have shooting out there. And we also have, Anthony Edwards, DeMar, and Paul George, who can also throw down some filthy dunks as well. So I like that lineup.
Man, I think I messed up my bench. I'm fine with my starters, even though you have every single big imaginable. I'm fine with my starters. I think my bench is where I think instead of Tyrese, I should have just taken Ant early, like you did, just to give me some scoring. But, I mean, hey, I'm not too bad in my lineup. How's it going to work with Tyrese and Shai? I guess Shai's just going to be that scoring 2 guard, and we're just going to have to hope he wants to go out there and get All-Star Game MVP. But, head coach. I actually don't know the head coaches off the top of my head.
Joe Mazzulla and
Steven Silas, or no, it's not Steven Silas. It's
Taylor Jenkins, I believe.
Taylor Jenkins.
No, not Taylor Jenkins. Who's
Is it Boston's head coach and it's Denver? So is it Mike Malone and
Mike Malone and Joe Mazzulla?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well then, since I had the first pick for the starters and the bench, I'll give you first pick. Who do you want, Mike Malone or Mike Mazzulla?
I'm going to take. I'm going to take Mike Malone right there.
Dang it! All right.
I don't want my coach throwing around Quizlets on the line before the game.
Crazy. I'll take the head coach of the number 1 team in the East, a team that's outplaying Giannis and that those Brooklyn Nets teams that were there, and a team that is winning with Derek White as their best player, which I should have drafted him the way he's been playing, but. We're going to have, this is going to be a fun All-Star game. We should probably plug these teams into 2K just to play, just for, whatever. But, I mean, that's really it. I guess, what we could do is run through and maybe say who's our X factor for the game. Obviously, we know all starters, probably aside Lauri Markkanen, they all have star ability and they're all X factors. We know that. But for our bench, I guess I'll ask you this: who is your All-Star Game MVP? Saying that I would believe you would think your team would win. Who would be your All-Star Game MVP? It could be a starter, it could be a bench player. As we know, a lot of them come off the bench.
I'd probably say a tie between Giannis and Damian Lillard. Giannis always puts up numbers. He always plays hard. He's just always getting blown out by 20 and then has to come back. Damian Lillard might come on. Might just get hot from the start. He hasn't been in there for a while. He's definitely going to want to prove I don't know. He doesn't have anything to prove, but
he's never won an All-Star Game MVP, and
Yeah.
I mean,
he has the ability to, obviously. So
right, and yeah, I mean, for me, it's in Salt Lake City. It would be cool to see a Lauri Markkanen get hot in the corner, just to keep shooting a bunch of threes. But I'm not going to go that route. I'm going to go Kyrie Irving. I'm going to go Kyrie to actually Tatum's here. I'm going to go Kyrie Irving. I'm going to say he channels his inner 2014. He's going to go prove to the world, I'm still that guy. Give me a tie between Kyrie and Shea. I'm going to say Shea goes crazy. I think a lot of people, even though he's having a career year, are still not really, they don't really understand the type of player Shea is and how great he is, because the Thunder have sucked for years.
Yeah.
I think as a first-time All-Star, him and Tyrese, and they're going to come out and they're going to show it. But that's really going to do it for today's show. 35 minutes. I mean, we got in and out, had some news about Russ, K-Love, Reggie Jackson, covered this weekend, had a draft. First ever draft on the show, by the way. I think that was really fun. We might have to bring some more people on and maybe do some team drafts here in the future. But again, I want to say it. Thank you guys for all the support as of late. We've had a lot of support in this last week or so. And if you've made it this far, 35 minutes, you obviously been able to put up with us too. So support us down below. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. As we continue to grow this channel, we're really thankful for all support that we do get. And again, just want to thank you guys for everything. But thanks for coming out. Any last thoughts? Any last thoughts about your team or my team, or what? So be it.
I feel good about the Hustlers. That's what I'm going to nickname us. Just guys who will hustle in the All-Star game for no reason other than try and get hurt, so they can't play the rest of the season. And like he said, we love the support that we've been getting. We really appreciate everything you guys do to grow the channel. We couldn't do it without you.
Yeah, I mean, we've been growing a lot as of late. We could see through the analytics. But we'll be back Tuesday, with I'm not sure what yet, but we're going to come back with some of the latest and greatest sports news for you guys. But until Tuesday, stay happy, stay healthy. We're out. Oh, let us know down below whose All-Star team you guys like better and whose team you think would win. I'll label them down below in the comments. Go ahead, and the team with the most likes, we'll take that as who you guys think would win the game. Now, we'll see you guys Tuesday. Stay happy, stay healthy. We're out.